Yo, I'm Sin and I'm making a devlog. So in my game More Ore. Wait! Yeah! You don't know what More Ore is? More Ore is the best incremental game out there. Even my childhood friend Barack says so.
Yo, More Ore's pretty good.
In More Ore, you can mine ores.
Wow!
And research technologies, go on quests, pet your pet rocks. More Ore's got it all. If you haven't already, you can wishlist More Ore on Steam and get notified when it's fully released. But back to the actual video, in this devlog I'll be overhauling the existing land feature. Land is a new mechanic you unlock after progressing far enough in the adventure map. Utilizing a new resource type called scrap, you're able to build structures that would provide large bonuses to the rest of the game. For example, if you wanted to train your stats faster, you would build more gyms on the land, since each gym provides a % XP bonus to training. The amount of structures you can build is also capped, so it forces the player to make meaningful choices on the types of buffs they want. I was also inspired by a game called Loop Hero. In Loop Hero, the player is given the power to place tiles down anywhere on the map, which provides small buffs. Placing the tiles in a specific pattern sometimes unlocks something new and gives even greater buffs or unique effects. I thought this idea was very interesting and I wanted to implement a variation of it to my game. However, I never got around to adding in that specific mechanic, and what's currently here just feels kinda empty. The whole scrap mechanic was also never explained well either. So, instead of working on it and making it better, I'm just gonna delete everything and think up something new. The new idea is a followers system. I want to introduce the players to a new unfolding mechanic at this point in the game to break up the grind and have other features to focus on while the main game is progressing in the background. I'm picturing the followers wandering around on the screen while the player assigns them basic actions, such as foraging or chopping wood. Slowly, they'll get enough resources to build structures, which would then unlock other actions or introduce something new. This will then all tie in together to the rest of the game by providing unique buffs based on what you do to your followers. I never really had to implement a UI like this before, where you would see a bunch of characters wandering around, so I was going into this idea completely blind. I did a bit of Googling and landed on using the HTML canvas element to render the followers onto the screen. After a lot of hacky code, I got this proof of concept working. Crazy, I know. This might not look like much, but getting this to work gave me the confidence to continue on with the idea. The way this works is that we have a class called follower that contains a bunch of variables. The important one here to note though is the position variable, which holds the x and y coordinates of the follower. During the update function within the game loop, I iterate through all of the followers and slightly update the position variable by a couple of pixels, so that when the game re-renders the UI, it gives the illusion that the followers moved a bit. With my newfound knowledge, I start planning out the rest of the feature. I open up my notebook and vomit all of my ideas onto the page. Once that's done, I transfer the idea onto an online document to better organize my thoughts, as well as to create a shit ton of tickets in my project management tool. After a couple hours of coding, this is what I have. So what you see here is the initial implementation of the followers menu. This left panel would be where you keep track of all your resources as well as assign followers to specific tasks, such as gathering food or chopping wood. We would keep track of completed actions and display it in the logs section on the bottom. And this big area over here would be where your followers wander around. I also made these panels collapsible for some reason, I don't know. After thinking about this layout design some more, I realized there might be some issues. I personally think the UI change is too jarring, and I imagine players would still want to view other aspects of the game in the background, so I swapped it out for a modal type approach, similar to other features in my game. This new layout is a bit simpler. Like the other design, The left panel would be for assigning actions, and the right hand side would be for rendering the followers. I did remove the resource inventory from the left panel into its own drawer component. That way you would always be able to view your resources whenever you'd like. I asked a couple of my friends which layout they preferred. Okay, do you like design A or design B?
I like design C.
I didn't end up getting anything helpful from them, so let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. I then continued development and built out the rest of the actions menu. As you can see now, we have actions. I'm honestly not satisfied with the design of the action component, but it'll do for now. Hovering over an action shows a tooltip that displays information about what it does, its resource requirements, if any, and a couple of other miscellaneous stats. Clicking on the plus button would assign an idle follower to the action, and when the action is completed, you will gain resources. The stockpile component is also fully hooked up. This area shows all of your current resources as well as the calculated gain per second next to each resource type. Some actions require resources to start, like chop wood, which takes 1 food. If I were to assign a follower to that action and start it, you will see food count go down by 1 in the stockpile, as well as an updated gain per second for the resource food. Adding new actions is also extremely easy. All you need to do is to add a new object to this array and fill out the required key values. And voila! New action. What the f? Anyways, on to the final task. Rendering the followers. So a couple days have passed and things look a bit different. I got distracted and worked on a bunch of random tasks, but I also finished the followers system. You can now see your followers walking around within the bounds of the map, and clicking on them shows a bit of information. I initially thought implementing the click event would be pretty hard since we're drawing the followers onto the canvas instead of using individual elements to represent each follower. But after some trial and error, I found a solution. I attach a click event on the canvas element, and when the player clicks on it, I grab the relative X and Y position of the click and loop through all the followers to see if the coordinates match an existing follower position. There's a lot more features that I did not show in this video as I want it to be a surprise for the players. In the end, I'm really happy with how this feature turned out, and I'm looking forward to implementing some of the crazier mechanics that I have planned soon. Hey you! Thanks for watching my video. This was my first time making a YouTube video, and I actually had a surprising amount of fun doing it, so if you like what you saw, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, whatever YouTubers normally say, and yeah. And before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters. Cool. See you.